Man, that's a big question.
I'd say people say right now that thank God for Adam McKay and how mainstream it's gotten in television comedies and movies. And I'd say, yeah, it's exciting to have so many people know what improv is or at least have an idea. And the films that use improv, it's exciting to see that, and you feel really connected to that. But at the same time, of course, when something gets big, you worry about it getting watered down, and you worry about what's being taught, or what people are putting their stock into.
Mm-hmm.
And people think it's like, oh, I took an improv class, and then, now I'm kind of like ready to do it. Like people are just kind of itching to get famous or whatever. Yeah. So I think that's the only downfall that I've seen so far is people really want to use it as a tool to like get on Saturday Night Live,
sure.
Be in a movie, whatever. So I think that's the only bad thing. But I think interest in improv and excitement about it is so great, especially for people who teach.
Sure, it is. It's great. It does change the culture a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
especially even now with Paul and Vanessa getting on Saturday Night Live and coming from IO and going straight from IO to SNL, and classes saw a boom. Like we have a lot more signups, and it's the culture change. It's great that people are interested. It's also a matter of, as a teacher, you're kind of working against the tide of fighting students and saying like, don't try this because you think it's going to lead to Saturday Night Live in 6 years. Like.
Right.
This is not what this is, and fighting against that and making sure that, because it does change the culture of a class to know that half of your students are just there to get through it so that they can get something else. And that will kill all the energy in a class. So you want people invested just in, it's like they say back in the 90s, and I don't know what I'm talking about, I wasn't there, but back in the 90s, before people started getting really famous, the theater was a place where you just went to learn to improvise. There was no carrot dangled at the end of the road for you, like, well, if I do this, I'll get famous. It was, you do this because you want to learn to do it, and that's it. And I think for a lot of the older performers, they kind of miss that energy in the theater of, like, people were just there purely to get better. And, because those are the kind of people that I like to play with. It's a good thing. It's also there's so many different angles to look at when it comes to that. It's good and it's bad. I would love for us to get to a point where people don't say like, how's your stand-up going?
It's easier to explain to your family at Christmas time what you do now than maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.